How 40-year-old goalkeepers are breaking the World Cup. A few days ago, everyone thought it was just a fairy tale. A 40-year-old goalkeeper, playing for one of the smallest nations at the World Cup, stood in front of Spain and refused to move. Shot after shot, attack after attack, Spain kept coming and Vozinha kept saving. People called it a miracle, a beautiful one-off. The kind of World Cup story that happens once and disappears. But then it happened again. This time it was Curaçao, the smallest nation ever to appear at a World Cup. A country with a population smaller than some football stadium crowds. They had already been destroyed by Germany. 7 goals conceded, written off, forgotten, treated like a team that was only there to make up the numbers. Then they played Ecuador, and for 90 minutes Ecuador threw everything at them. Nearly 30 shots. 3 efforts off the woodwork. Chance after chance. Pressure from every angle. But standing in the goal was Eloy Room, 37 years old. 15 saves, 0 goals conceded, Ecuador 0, Curaçao 0. And suddenly, this was not just one miracle anymore. This was a pattern. Look at what this World Cup is showing us. Vozinha, 40 years old, stops Spain. Eloy Room, 37 years old, stops Ecuador. Cape Verde and Curaçao, 2 tiny nations, 2 underdog teams, 2 experienced goalkeepers turning impossible matches into history. This is not just luck. This is the World Cup reminding everyone of something football sometimes forgets. When the game becomes chaos, experience becomes power, and there are 3 reasons this keeps happening. Reason number 1, in a one-sided match, the goalkeeper becomes the whole team. When a big nation dominates the ball, people usually look at possession, passes, shots, expected goals, all the numbers that show control. But the underdog does not need to control the game. They only need to survive it. And when survival is the plan, the most important player is not the striker. It is not the midfielder. It is not even the captain. It is the goalkeeper. Because one perfect game from a goalkeeper can destroy 90 minutes of domination. A forward can disappear and the team may still survive. A midfielder can lose the ball and someone else can cover. But if the goalkeeper switches off once, the whole plan dies. That is why these games become personal. It is no longer Spain versus Cape Verde. It is Spain versus Vozinha. It is no longer Ecuador versus Curaçao. It is Ecuador versus Eloy Room. The team defends. The goalkeeper decides. Reason number 2. Age is different for goalkeepers. In most football positions, age takes something away. A winger loses speed. A fullback loses recovery pace. A striker loses sharpness. But goalkeeping is not only about speed. It is about reading danger before it becomes danger. An experienced goalkeeper has seen every type of shot. Near post, far post. Low drive, deflection, header, cutback, one-on-one, penalty box chaos. He does not just react to the ball. He reads the body. He reads the angle. He reads the pressure. A young goalkeeper may have reflexes. An old goalkeeper has reflexes and memory. That is the difference. Vozinha is not just diving. Eloy Room is not just reacting. They are using years of pain, mistakes, pressure, and survival. Every match they have ever played is inside those saves. That is why a 40-year-old goalkeeper can still become the most important man at the World Cup. Reason number 3. Small nations turn goalkeepers into symbols. For the biggest teams, the goalkeeper is one part of the machine. For the smallest teams, the goalkeeper is the wall the entire country stands behind. Cape Verde did not face Spain thinking they would dominate the ball. Curaçao did not face Ecuador thinking they would control midfield for 90 minutes. Their plan was simple. Stay compact, block the middle, force difficult shots, protect the box, and trust the man in goal. That is why these performances feel bigger than football. Because when a tiny nation survives against a giant, every save feels like a national event. Every catch calms the whole country. Every dive gives the team belief. Every missed chance makes the favorite panic. And the longer the game stays 0-0, the stronger the underdog becomes. This is the psychological part. The underdog has no pressure. Nobody expects them to win. Nobody expects them to dominate. Nobody expects them to play beautiful football. So when the goalkeeper makes the first save, it is celebrated. When he makes the 5th save, the team starts believing. When he makes the 10th save, the favorite starts doubting, and that is when the match changes. The big team begins to rush. They shoot from bad angles. They force passes. They hit the post. they complain. They look at the clock. The goalkeeper, meanwhile, grows bigger with every minute. He has nothing to lose. The attackers have everything to lose. That is why these games feel like the favorite is attacking a wall. And the wall is getting taller, and this is why the world falls in love with these stories. Because football is usually owned by the giants. The biggest leagues, the richest clubs, the youngest stars, the most expensive players. But at the World Cup, one old goalkeeper from a small country can take over the entire tournament. Vozinha went from a veteran goalkeeper to a global name. Eloy Room turned one night against Ecuador into World Cup history. These are not just clean sheets. These are moments that change how people see a nation. Before the match, Curaçao were the team that lost 7-1. After the match, they were the smallest country ever to earn a World Cup point. Before the match, Eloy Room was just another experienced goalkeeper. After the match, he was the reason Ecuador could not score. That is the power of the world. Cup, it takes players the world ignored and gives them one night where everyone has to watch. So maybe the real story of this World Cup is not just the superstars. Maybe it is not only the golden boots, the wonder kids, the favorites, or the teams everyone expected to win. Maybe the real story is this. Old goalkeepers are refusing to disappear. They are standing in front of giants with tired legs, calm minds, and decades of experience. They are turning pressure into silence. They are turning impossible matches into national memories. A 40-year-old held Spain. A 37-year-old held Ecuador. Cape Verde believed. Curaçao survived. And somewhere else in this tournament, another small nation is watching this and thinking the same thing. Why not us? Because at the World Cup, sometimes the most dangerous player on the pitch is not the superstar with the ball. Sometimes it is the old man in goal, standing still, waiting for the world to shoot. And when the world shoots, he saves. The wall always has a name. Subscribe for more football stories like this. The game has not changed, you just started seeing it differently.